3D concrete printing machine, but it actually prints with mortar. It's Monday morning. I'm in the yard. To be exact, inside one of the volumetrics. We're doing a bit of repair work in the body. We pulled it over to fix the easy sheet, and when doing that, we looked down into the body and we realized there was a rotten part, which meant that the sand and gravel would mix. You can see the broken and bent rusty piece we've removed, and now we have a plate where we're just going to simply weld on just to patch it, to ensure that when you have separates on of sand and stone, they do not mix, because that's going to interfere with the consistency of the concrete. We also have a couple of little plates we are going to slot in place and weld where some of these supports meet the central part. That should strengthen, giving some support, and also ensure that the material doesn't mix. We are selling that volumetric, but if somebody comes in, the first thing they're going to say is,
look at this isn't suitable to work.
So we're going to get that fixed, just so when people come to look at it, they can't pick any faults in it. In the office, we're going to have a tidy up. In the top office, as that office isn't being used at the moment, we're going to take the first aid kit, the eye wash and a fire extinguisher, and we're going to place them inside here once we've had a cleanup. And Flo had a fantastic idea. If we could get a couple of solar panels on top of this unit, in the meantime, until we can run power, then at least we could have a light up here, which I thought was a fabulous suggestion. We have 2 trains booked this week, Tuesday and Thursday. So we're doing as much of our little maintenance bits as we can. The material continues to come in. Quattro are tipping from the same job, which has been running for the past couple of weeks. If we can do all the little bits and pieces in here, if we have a visit from the compliance team at the freight operator, they will see that we are doing everything in our power to keep the yard safe and comfortable for our visitors. At the penthouse project, we're working on the roof. In the past, you saw me in the bathroom looking up at these skylights. Now we're removing the old units and replacing with new. But we're keeping the existing frame, upstand, flashing, and not interfering with the roof membrane at all. 1, because it's not leaking, and 2, because the block management said not to. We clean the existing frame and fit CT1 all the way around as recommended by the manufacturer. Then fit the aluminium double glazed, frosted, powder coated unit. To finish off, once again in line with manufacturer's instructions, we secure with 4 screws. Just going to dump all of the material out of the volumetric, which we put the engine in a couple of weeks back. I noticed a lot of you mentioned the white smoke that was coming out of it when we started it up, but as you can see, there is no more white smoke. Once Liviu's removed all the material out of there, he's going to do a bit of maintenance on the railway track here. Click here to watch a video when we show what actually happened with the first train that came into this yard. We're going to scrape off these side plates, make sure they're nice and clean. We are then going to add more grease. We're going to change the switches so the rail slides along the plate to ensure that it's all good for tomorrow. ABC in to collect some of the finished 6F5. The volume of the 6F5 collections is increasing. The volume of the material coming in for the train is increasing. The volume of the trains going out is increasing. Now we just need to start bringing in primary material on the train to try to complete the circle. Tell me, what do I need to do?
Have you turned it on?
I have.
On the touchscreen at the bottom, it has static, auto dynamic, so on. On the right hand side, it says configuration.
It's the screen that says waiting for scale W2 and the weight keeps changing.
Yeah, that's because the lotels aren't plugged.
Do you want it plugged in up the top?
It'd be handy, yeah.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done and I'll call you back. A Trainway need to do something remotely with this. Now, we've brought it into the weighbridge just to charge it up. So we're going to have to take it up the top, plug it in, and then let them know a couple of settings on this so they can begin to do whatever computer stuff they need to do on it in preparation for the train tomorrow. Back at the penthouse project. A few weeks ago we began to fit the doors. Well, now it's time to fit the handles and latches. We start by measuring and marking up. To speed up the process, Bartouche made a custom jig specifically for this application, which slides on and enables us to router the strike plate for the latch. Then we drill a 22mm hole for the latch assembly, followed by a 16mm bore hole on the face of the door for the handle spindle. Next, we fit the latch assembly, bolt and faceplate, pre-drill, and fix to the door with 18mm long screws. We temporarily fit the door handles connected with the spindle between them to mark up the holes for the screws. Pre-drill and then refit the door handle and spindle using male to female screws which connect into each other to secure. Meanwhile, back at the Ashville yard. We are connected and I've just turned it on.
Good man.
What's the password?
To enter that, press enter once.
It's greyed out, mate.
Grayed out? Underneath where it's grayed out in the max sample time, what number is there?
0.00.
Right, that's answered the questions. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Information has been provided and there is nothing more they need to do calibration wise. The time now is 12:43 and at 4:30 we have a Zoom with the freight operator. Now I'm going to be driving at the time, so I'm only going to be able to connect with audio on hands-free, but hopefully that sets their mind at ease and they do not cancel our train, which is booked tomorrow.
Originally it was 4.
It was stone dead.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that, I might have to buy new batteries.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday and I'm in the yard. A very long time ago in Weekly, you saw we were going to have a power cut due to an upgrade in the local area. We fired up our generator to work, ran it for a couple of hours, and then kaput, it died the night before, just when we needed it. Now we managed to get round it, but since that point we haven't put any time into it, and I need to get it fired up again and ensure it's working as a backup for us. Now the company that originally came in, turned it on, serviced it and provided us with certification, they are coming in on Friday, but they need us to get prepared. So what we've had to do is charge up the batteries. Now we did isolate the batteries the last time we turned it off, but the batteries are obviously going to lose a charge after this much time. So we've got our trusty torch, battery chargers, we are connected up. Now earlier, my townie had a look when he wired this all up and one of the batteries had dropped as low as 4 watts. But now we've been charging them. When he checked a little while ago, they were both up to about 11. We're going to leave them overnight and we hope by the time we come back tomorrow morning that they're around 13.8, 13.9, because when you're trying to get this started, my God, does this take a cranking and needs some power. This morning, I was working again on my brokering, using third parties for haulage while talking to existing clients. And we've arranged a job, which is going to start on Thursday, of a non-hazardous soil, stone and clay, which I think the code is, the EWC code is 170107. Now, the site is a very long way away. But we are one of the closest facilities that can accept the material. So we've given a price per ton to tip in here, and we are getting our friends at DAFCON and McGee, my mate Phil, are doing the haulage for us on day rates, which we're very happy about. And now the track weighing system company are in to do some final and last calibrations because we are expecting a train in a few hours. Craig opens up our James Bond case, updates, and sets up the configuration ready for calibration. He then clears all the track ballast from under the rails, as any contact could interfere with readings. There's a plate on the floor. Okay, wait for it. I'm ready. And again. Because everything was so bold, had to put a couple of nuts and bolts in everywhere to pull it together to get a proper weld. But we've had to remove the ones we put here because these are the holes for the vibrator. So basically when you've got stubborn sand or material in here, the vibrator does that and it makes the material drop onto the conveyor belt down here. What? Do it again. It's okay? Yeah? There's loads of holes. Is this?
In the middle one. See how I push? See here?
Yeah.
Put one through there.
Yep.
Here. And here.
Okay. So we've got 3 bolts in for the vibrator. Got to still do some repairs here. Probably just cut this one off. Couple repairs here. And this one is almost okay. So we've probably got about another half a day on this side. On this side, we are doing very well. See the repairs here. It's all been strengthened. Here as well, we are getting there. While I've been in the body here, trying to work this out with my townie, I can see that the train is now pulling in.
So I think we're slightly heavy coming in today. That's because we adjusted it against the last wagon that came in. So we've just got to find that sweet spot between the adjustment and then you'll have within 0.5%. And that's the aim. That's what we're trying to get to. It's trial and error. Normally we do it over 4 trains. So at the minute, if you think about it, this is the 2nd train. So in theory, at the 4th train, that's when it should be absolutely, you know, almost perfect.
We got another one on Thursday.
Yeah, again,
Are you
it
back
might,
in Thursday? Or are you
might have
swerving
to.
us?
I'll swerve you, but someone else might come. It's a long walk, that, in the heat.
Mate, you get your steps in.
Carrying that box. Oh, and there's not even a chair down there. I don't know about that.
Do you know what? That is a good point. I'm meant to put a chair in that office.
By 4th training, I reckon you'll be absolutely bob on. So, yeah, don't worry. Let's get in there.
what's happening? Same old. Gerds is back. We always love the old Ashville drivers popping into the yard. And in other news, here we are. £2,500 later with a new drone. Cue the baby. And we hope that Sarouche won't crash this one. All right, let's see if we get Gerds tipping a load of non-haz and get the train loading, not offloading, loading. There's a big pile of egg on my face right now. It's not flying. Why not? The screen's frozen. The screen's frozen. Can you imagine a new drone on the maiden voyage? Here we go. Maiden voyage, shutting down. Here we go. That's what we need. That's just fantastic, isn't it? I thought it was timed perfectly. Gerds arrived, trains offloading, sun is shining. I thought, yes, this is it. Michael, my brother, you are older than me.
But I am far richer than you.
What,
and
that's
I'm more better looking than you. And you have got more grey hairs than I have. Thank you. End of the chat.
How you getting on?
Hi, you. I
I'm
was
all right,
told to
mate.
ring you.
What?
I was told to ring you.
By who?
Girl in your office said tell Michael to ring Daniel.
Oh, that's because your lot were chasing my lot for a £300 skip, and I said Michael and I have got to have a square up for some other bits.
Oh, yeah. I was just wondering, I thought, well, what's happened to you? I thought, oh,
Yeah.
here we go, I've got to bail him out now, Snake.
Hey! How we doing? Hey, Jimmy's back. Hey, look. Hold on. Got another Ashville driver in. That's 2 in 10 minutes. Well, technically Quattro driver, but was an Ashville driver. I've got a quick one for you. Have you got any space in your cupboard?
For what?
Just space, just like to hang up one thing.
In a cupboard, I can hang anything up in my cupboard, wherever you want.
So you have space to hang up one thing in your cupboard.
Yeah.
Cool. Hang this up. Do you know how angry he's gonna be? Right about now, he's thrown the phone against the wall and he is spitting feathers. No, in fact, no, not yet, because the penny hasn't dropped. He hasn't got the joke yet. He hasn't got the joke, but he will in a minute. How are we? Nice to see you, mate. Take care of yourself. Are we ready for this drone yet? No. Right, so we're not ready for the drone.
This is being all polite as Daniel's about.
Is Simon not polite when I'm not about? Are you not, Simon?
I want to hear him. I just want to get another load in. Yeah.
Well, I don't mind. Keep them coming.
Come on now, hurry up, get out. Yeah, I ain't going to run my Xbox.
Do we know what's wrong?
It's not flying.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's when we print off the train, yeah? Tonight, that's what we need our figures to say.
Basically, the freight operator wants to go through stages. So originally we had to go for 55 ton. And today they want us to go for 65 ton. And probably Thursday we'll be allowed to go for 70 and then 75. By our own admission, last week, Flo loaded the train as we see fit, which is 74 in every wagon all the way. But the freight operator has said, as people normally say,
Calm down a small bit, Daniel. Calm down. Let's go back a step. And as we go back a step, please follow our instructions.
I like to comment that the train was triple checked. It was not overweight and the axles were balanced perfectly. But in fairness, I did agree that we would stagger the weights. So we've gone back 2 steps and we're going forward one step today, and then hopefully on Thursday we'll be allowed to load it close to 70, because we want to get on as much as we can and get the confidence of the freight operators and our partners, FCC. And another load has come in from Quattro. We're flat out in the yard, flat out. Only thing we ain't got is a drone that flies. Second bucket for the LH60. Now, we used to have this stored over the other side of the yard by the shed, but we have moved it to here because whenever we go to change the bucket over, we always need to use a load of tools and fittings, and sometimes we have a leak and we're in and out of the container. So whenever we need to change, we're very close to the workshop and the container and all of the tools. And if somebody does come in and have to do some work on any hydraulic pipes, they're not standing in any mud, which won't be here by next winter because we would have concreted by then. There is so much traffic in the yard at the moment that the area in front of the weighbridge has worn away. So we're using some fill material to build it back up. We're 2 hours into the offload and we have 3.5 wagons left to go. So Flo is making record-breaking time. Now, we're not fully loading the wagons, but if we were, it would probably only be another minute each time. So Flo is record-breaking and record-making. Take all of this and put it together. See everything that's spread out here? All of it together. The next one up there, do the same, bring it all together. Do the same over there. We can't have the material spread out all over the yard. And get it as high as you possibly can to make it as easy for the LH60. We need to clean the whole entire track, use wheelbarrows, put it in the pile with the rest. Had a little upgrade. We now have a... So whenever we're waiting around up in this area, we can sit within the container and just chill out and wait. If we could get a couple of solar panels on top of this and maybe have a little radio in here or something like that, this could be a nice little place for me to chill out and have a think whenever we're loading or offloading any of the trains. Now, Flo is down to his last wagon and the train is not due to leave till 8 o'clock and the time now is 4:48. So the shunter has agreed to run the train over the weighing system a couple of times as long as they don't cause any obstructions to the Heathrow fuel train, which runs 3 times a day. But currently, we are not blocking anything.
When you come into it, you're going to have a menu here. So you've got 1, 2 and 3. So we're doing manual dynamic weighing. So you can use the arrow keys to go up and down, and then you obviously get to manual and then you press the enter. Yeah, that's it. So 1 to 2 is your entry, because then it's we're taking the weight coming in this way, and 2 to 1 is taking the weight that way going out. So that's it, you just press enter. That's ready to go. As soon as he comes across, it'll do it automatically, and at the end, you press done and you get the print out.
We finally got the drone to fly. It was a glitching issue on the controller, which meant we couldn't accept the terms and conditions to fly in a restricted fly zone. We have all the licenses in play. We did a factory reset on the controller, and once rebooted, all worked well. All is well, and we are around 65 tons in each wagon, so the train is good to go. Lately, I've been spending time streamlining my business. I'm now going to do the same in my personal life and try and take care of myself more. Nutrition is key. As they say, you are what you eat. But who's got time to be standing around in supermarkets reading labels and squeezing vegetables? That's why I use HelloFresh. It's a cost-effective and convenient way to have fresh ingredients delivered to my door. I'm on that protein vibe as I'm back in the gym, so I've gone with the mostly meaty range. This week, I've gone for the beef rice bowl, sticky salmon and teriyaki chicken, and the hot honey crispy chicken and halloumi burger. Cooking isn't in my skill set or job description. Luckily, HelloFresh have created a guide which quantifies all of the ingredients and gives step-by-step instructions to help me create a healthy meal. So if you have limited time, are always on the go, and need cost-effective convenience, look no further than HelloFresh. Click the link in my description or head to hellofresh.co.uk to see the full offering, of which there are new recipes each week. Get 50% off your first box, 20% off next month, and free desserts for life using the code HFASH50. It's Wednesday. I'm not in the yard. I'm at the Central London penthouse project in the kitchen with Bartitude, who continues to shake his head in disgust every time I do that. A couple of weeks ago, I told you that we were moving out all of these units in order to house the appliances, which have all been delivered. They are in the bedroom waiting. All melee, we've spared no expense. This is the penthouse project. We have a wine cooler going here and one going here. And these are the units which forced us to move everything outwards. That combined with our void here for a handleless door opening. Now, we are having the worktops templated on Friday, and the client has requested a stone downstand here and here, as opposed to an end panel like you can see on the end of the wall units here. If we were going to have an end panel, we would not have needed support, but the stonemason says the stone, the weight of the stone will need to be supported on timber. So not only do we have to fit this piece of timber here, we have to fit a vertical here. And the mitered worktop will sit on top of this here and be supported. Underneath the wall units, we have routed out for the LED lights. So we have a profile here, what is going to fit in, whoa. There we go. And then within our profile, we're gonna have our LED, and then we are gonna have our diffuser. So this will spread the light evenly, and it will not look like one of those old school ones with all of the little dots going through it. We have almost finished with the flooring. This will be finished in a couple of hours. In the living room, we have some mist coats to apply. And if you look on the floor, we have covered in paper, and then we have put a 3 or 4 mil ply down because it was only a couple of quid more expensive than the Corex. And if we drop any tools, we're not gonna damage anything. So we are very risk averse with damaging the client's high-end fittings. The client has chosen a finish on the fireplace. It's kind of like a black and gold polished plaster. So we're waiting for that work to be done. And also in here, when we finish the hallway, we are gonna work on cladding the step here, like you saw us do a couple of weeks ago in the bedroom. On the decking, we are almost there. The lads have been on holiday for a couple of weeks, but they are going to start this again today. This is going to be completed into the bedroom. Once again, we're there or thereabouts. We have papered and covered the floor. There's one more appliance here that I didn't show you earlier. And in the bathroom. The aluminium double glazed window panes have been fitted. Now, we have built the ceiling in this area. It needs to be plastered, but the more important thing here is the finish we're gonna put around this box you can see. Now, previously, if you watched Weekly a very long time ago, we showed that all the paint here kept bubbling up. That's because when you were having a shower, all the water vapor rushed to this area because the extractor fans weren't strong enough. Well, we have some industrial extractor fans in here now. Don't be alarmed, they're not that loud. They're very silent, very low decibels, but we are gonna have like a plastic fitted on all four sides here, which means that if water does gather in this area, it can be wiped down and it's not gonna cause any damage. And now, back into the hallway. Most of the doors have been fitted, but we took the front door off. We filled in the previous cutouts, and to match the rest of the doors in the property, we have routed here. So it looks like it was part of the set of all the new doors, but it in fact is not. This is the original front door, which was very good quality. Into the bedroom. Once again, we more or less have finished the skirting. Architrave is on, doors are done. We have base coats, the lights are in. Just probably a final coat of decorating, and we need the bespoke linear grills for the air conditioning and into the bathroom. Now in this room, we have not built the ceiling as of yet, but the frame is complete, but the window has been fitted, and we are going to replicate the plastic finish, which is going to be on all four sides here, again, to stop any of the paint work bubbling up. There's plenty of work to do here, but we are there or thereabouts. Now, I am going to leave here and head to the refurbishment project for a client meeting, because towards the end of next week, we are going to start to mobilize there, and the work there is going to crack on. Just finished the client meeting at the refurbishment project. The client was just getting their head around the area in the basement, because poker is a game which is very important to the client. So originally, we had the poker table going here, and we have a bathroom going here. This is a very small toilet unit which had some very nice black stone. And we had a bar over here. So you can see the pipework which we've already run through the screed, but that has now all changed. The poker table will now sit here, and we will move the bathroom to this area over here and close it off. It's going to be a lot bigger than the previous area, which was relatively small. And the client has also asked to have a television on that wall and a television on that wall. The exact description was,
we can put the Arsenal game on one telly and the Man United game on the other.
and now this area is going to be completely used for a bar with stools in front of it. And we were going through the cool ideas. I've seen a couple of examples on social media of bars which are like an entire LED panel, and the pictures can change. It can be a wave, it can be wildlife, and we are going to explore. The back of the bar here will have all of the drinks. We'll have 600 depth cupboards at the bottom, 600 depth here, worktops with downstand. So this floor has been completely decided. We also had some decisions on the ground floor. Let's make our way there now. What was once a games room is now an office. The client approved the render. This is going to be the client's workspace with a bookshelf on the back wall, the desk here facing this way, and there will be a television on the wall right here. The snug render that you saw a couple of weeks back, that is also approved, but we're going to have to do some work up here, and we're going to have to change how we've built the ceiling and probably drop it down a bit, because you'll see within the render there's some cornicing going around and we don't have the depth. So how we have built this ceiling with the drop-down LED feature light in the central area, it's not going to work. But the important thing is the client has decided, in fact, what this room's going to look like. So we have instructions on what we can do, which also means that all of this area can now be closed up. We didn't want to close any of it because we weren't sure if we would need to run new cables like we need to do in the basement for the two walls where we're having the additional TVs. The fireplace for here has been ordered. So as soon as all arrives, the work can commence. But the first thing we're going to do when we get here next week is begin to close off the staircase. Now we can begin to clad the balustrade area. We're going to use a thin MDF, which we can bend, but we need, before we do any of that, to close this landing. So in order to achieve the ribboned finish of this staircase from this point, going all the way down to feel like one continuous rounded and ribbon shape, we've had to change the shape of the first floor landing. So we'll fill this in with timber, close it all off, make it safe, and then we'll begin to close off the balustrade as well. As of next week, we are going to make our way back to the refurbishment project and work will begin to commence. I am now heading back to the yard. Making a bit of a plan for the job which is starting tomorrow. We're going to have the material which comes from the different job tip immediately in front of the processing pile to keep it separate. Train tracks has been completely cleared and looking perfect. We're just gathering together the rest of the piles of the material so the yard is a lot neater. Little bit of a emissions problem on the L860, so just going to take a look with flow now. We keep pulling out sensors and injectors from the L860, cleaning them, putting them back in, and then all seems to be reset and it works, but it keeps happening. Now the 914, somehow RAM is leaking. It looks like it's still straight and it doesn't look like there are any scratches. Hopefully it's just a seal. And we all know now what happened with the 926. It's hard work, these machines, man. And it's not like we're not taking the time and looking after them now, especially the L860. The L860 has always been babied, but maybe you could argue some of the other machines, we didn't pay attention to them earlier in their life and we're paying the price now. You could argue that. I wouldn't argue that, but you could argue that. Let's go and check how we're getting on with the generator preparation. What do we think?
Machine over here now, somehow. Let's see where my dead laser.
Oh, yeah. We like that. Like this one? Yes. So we're still charging nicely.
Yeah. So what we do is let them charge away for today, put them on tonight, and let them charge up.
So we're not doing too badly then?
With them and the jump pack,
And the jump packs.
Yeah. Geez, if it goes to 2 jump packs, there's going to be a problem.
It's Thursday. We're in the yard, standing on top of the volumetric, and the work is all completed. Any broken bits have been repaired. We have put patches over any holes, and the cover is back on the vibrator. So any potential buyers who come and look at this will have no complaints or excuses. I showed you a couple of weeks back the state the 926 is in. We've been negotiating and trying to find parts for a very long time, trying to calculate and do sums with contingencies in place to see how much it's going to cost us to get the machine going again, and if in fact it makes sense doing it. Well, we couldn't come to any agreements, and we couldn't really find a firm cost because there were so many unknowns. So somebody has actually purchased the machine, and the machine is being shipped to Poland. Because it's so difficult to move the machine, our friends at Thames Materials have come in to help the buyer move the 926 and get it put onto a low loader so it can go to its new home, where hopefully somebody can fix it and get it working again. Don't you dare. Really? How we doing?
How you doing? Good?
You all right? This morning, I was able to get something back on track, what I've been struggling with for many years, my flying lessons. I completed my exams in 2020, and now they've expired because I didn't pass my practical. So I've booked myself in to do another intense week of theory tests, and I am starting my flying lessons again next week. It's one of the only things that I've really... There's loads of flies everywhere. It's one of the things which I want to get complete so I can begin to fly solo again. There are thousands of flies in here. And we had the readings back on the train, and the readings which were received from our system here matched more or less within about a ton of the Gotcha, which is the weigh-in system out on the main line owned by Network Rail. We have one more day today of loading at 65 tons, and if the freight operator is happy, hopefully then starting next week, where we have 3 trains booked, they said they're going to let us load up to 75 tons. So let's see how we get on today. The track is looking spotless, and we are ready to load another train of non-HAZ. Now we have a new drone, we're going to use any excuse to use it. We're going to wring this flannel until every drop of water is out of it and fully take advantage. The camera is so good on the drone, the bird's eye view of the loco makes it look like the one from my train set. I saw the front of the lorry, I knew. Pulp Fiction himself is backing out. So it's not just Ashville lorries that you put curtains and dice inside of. When I saw the letters on the front, I thought to myself, this is him. How you getting on? Yeah, not bad. Can't complain. And if I did complain, who would listen? You don't generally take off your clothes when you're driving. I've never seen you.
I'm just excited to see you again.
Nice to see you, mate. This is the job and material I told you about on Monday. The lads are going to bring in 6 loads today and 6 loads tomorrow. Here we can take a closer look at Flow's Techers. As the material is soily and dry, there's very limited amounts of material getting stuck to the bucket as we would have with clay. Flow fills the wagons from right to left with full buckets of material and then passes over the material with the sides of the bucket to pat it down. And there goes the Heathrow fuel train as Flow begins to load the last wagon. The hockey stick looking thing you can see here is used to clean the flat surface at the top of the wagons. All loose debris needs to be removed before the train can leave the yard and travel on the main network. I jumped onto a Zoom and I've come off and I've been told that Flow has already loaded the train in just over 2 hours. What we need to do now is send the train over the weighing system. We have our first set of weights and we're reversing back in. And then we'll know if we need to add or remove any material.
One more way now.
How long did that take you? Huh?
Too long.
Too long, exactly, sire, too long. You can actually see it flexing if you look really closely.
Right, it's the loco. So we're hitting 89.16, 86, 87, 85. So take 2 ton off that one, take 2 ton off 17, and then on number 1 we need to take off half a ton. Half a ton on number 1, yeah?
To be clear, we are not overweight. Each wagon can take 75 tons, but we have been instructed, and I dare not step out of line, to load 65, which is actually harder because if you follow the line at the top of the train and you put the material in and that's what you use as your gauge, you'll be more or less between 73 and 75 ton. But we have to load less, hopefully for the last time today. Now we could let the train go with the 3 wagons, 1.5 tons or 2 ton, but they're gonna get upset with us. So let's play ball. Flow is more than willing. The time now is 5:05, all the lads are still here. Flow is gonna take out from wagon 1, 17 and 20. Yep. And then we're gonna weigh it again. And if it's below 65 tons, then the train will be allowed to leave. But just to clarify, we are not overweight. We're just playing ball here. We're just jumping through hoops. flow has removed the material, and another loaded train is successfully leaving the Ashville yard. And that's it for Thursday. It's Friday, and we're in the yard. And so is the technician to work out what's wrong with our generator, which is going to be a process of fault finding and elimination. Turned it on to test it. We had it running, cranked up, quite a bit of smoke at the beginning.
Smoke? White smoke.
We let it run for a bit, and we were just running cables into here so we could connect it. As we went to do it in the evening, it just went conk and it stopped, and it never started again since.
Any noises or
nothing, mate. It sounded good. It was running well.
Okay, because it cranks fine.
Yeah.
But what I've found at the minute, I wasn't getting any RPM on here.
Okay. That was working before.
Exactly. So I've just looked at the mag pickup, which is round here. So I've checked it. I've checked the ohms back to the speed controller, but it's not coming back to the deep C.
I haven't done anything.
No, that's fine. Leave it with me.
Thank you, mate.
No problem.
Much appreciated. We're working on getting the generator up and running again. Hopefully, it's going to be a quick fix. We will see how we get on. Gonna go and have a look at the 914 now, because there are a couple of bits we need to order, because we're gonna give that a good wash off tomorrow, and then we're gonna start working on that early next week. Simon has asked, do we have drone footage of when the train pulled in yesterday?
We should do, yes.
Simon would like to check if the wagons are coming in with muck in them already.
It's only going to be like the hard to reach places, like they can't get in with them.
There are no excuses, Simon.
No, listen.
If it's in there, it was in there.
Don't hang me and the man that's offloading.
No, we're not blaming anyone. We just want to know.
See, kind of here. See, look at that wagon there. That's got quite a bit
muck in it, bro.
It's got quite a bit. There's a ton in the difference there.
You'll see. You will see. It's just following the loco.
Following the loco.
Why didn't you film inside the wagons? We will. We'll see it. So there will be more footage of like. Look.
Okay, look, see there.
Oh
look,
wow!
So there we go. There's our weights difference. There's
it might be.
You scrape all that up into one corner.
Yeah. That's a
it all
bucket
adds
or
up.
two in there.
It
right?
all adds up.
There's a bucket in each.
Hold on, I'm take a picture of that. Well done, Simon.
No, it's just I couldn't work out why the figures weren't adding up. But there's a reason.
Start getting worried, Simon.
Yeah, someone's going to like dump me over like.
Not clean.
See, there's quite a lot in that. That's a fair. There's a ton there.
Taking a closer look around the 914, I was in fact completely wrong about the RAM, unfortunately. So we made a little list of what we need. I need some track pads. We've ordered 3 in total. These are 700 by 200, and I think the centers are like 105 by 60. We need a cutting edge also. We've asked for the nuts and bolts as well. There's 9 in total. The company that normally provide them took the dimensions already, so hopefully they have them on record. And the RAM, look how much oil is coming out of it. And if I look very closely, I saw it. Look, oh no, look at that. So this RAM is going to need a new stick and to be sealed. And while we're doing all of that, I asked my townie, and he said this monstrosity of a demo guard, we can't straighten it. So I'm going to contact the company in Holland, and I'm going to ask them if they can possibly supply us with a second-hand one. So if we can just blast this off, give it a nice wash tomorrow, do the immediate bits, then reassess it and see what else is needed for the 914, so we can get it looking good and running well again.
Right, you ready?
Ready.
We managed to get the generator fired up. It was actually a fuse inside the automatic voltage regulator, which is on the side here. We were never going to find that. The fuse changed and now it fires up every time, but we now have a bigger problem. The good news is the engine is working perfectly. The brain on the engine's working perfectly. We think the alternator's working perfectly, but when you crank it on and turn it up, when the three phases each get to about 40 volts, it's meant to be 400, but when it gets to 40, it continually pops the fuse. So the system wants to protect itself. So every time something is going on which it doesn't like, it just shuts it all down again. So by process of elimination, the first thing we're going to do is order an automatic regulator. We're going to order an automatic voltage regulator, replace that, and we hope that that fixes the problem. Because if it doesn't, we're in all types of trouble. Bronson is back! Nathan's back in, and they got him in a low entry cab. How things, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah,
good.
Shining, can't crumble.
Yeah?
Yeah, mate.
Good to see you, mate. Oh, I love the top. It lives on. Look at that.
Keeping the brand alive.
Saturday morning. I'm not in the yard. I'm in Chelsea, on the way to the Chelsea Flower Show, which is normally something that my mum would do, but it hasn't actually started as of yet. I'm going to meet some people who are setting up a very interesting stand with a very interesting product. The first thing I'm going to say is, I've never actually been to the Chelsea Flower Show, but my mum goes every year and tries to buy a load of seeds and tries to plant them in her garden, aka the balcony. But being here, I have a real appreciation of how much work goes into the Chelsea Flower Show, because we are 3 weeks out. And so much work has gone in to show the beautiful showcases of products. Now, I thought I was coming to look here at a 3D concrete printing machine, but it actually prints with mortar, which is very similar. But we're gonna get back to that in a minute, because firstly, I wanna take a minute to appreciate how much work has gone in to setting this up thus far. Guys here start with a completely blank canvas, and what they want to do is create a fantastic water feature. In order to do that, they need to put up some structural steel for support. Now, you might think this is relatively simple, but they need to take all of it out afterwards, so they've had to put together a temporary structure. So the lads dug down by 1.3 meters. They put type 1 in. You can see the remnants of it laying around here. They compacted, they put a mortar, and then they brought in precast concrete slabs. On top of these precast concrete slabs, they put the feet of the steel structure you can see here. They then installed this box frame with a support beam, and then they had to fill in everything around it. Now they're fitting the pieces of 3D printed mortar, which was already done at the factory and shipped here, and they are slotting them into place. Now, I was lucky enough to be here a minute ago and see the first piece slot in, and it has fit in perfectly. And now the second piece is being slotted into place.
This has now been extruded, and now this is ready to print if we wanted to.
Wow. I'd prefer we printed an Ashville A.
We can print an Ashville A, Daniel.
We're about to put the 3D printer into place. It is not concrete, it is in fact mortar. It comes in 25 kilo bags. They add water, it all goes into a hopper, and then they add a retarder to slow down the drying process because it dries so quickly. As you can see, it works on tracks, and it has 3 legs. 1, 2, and a third one. Here. It is connected electrically. It all works on 3-phase power. And everything is controlled via hydraulics. Here is our valve chest. Here is our computer. This is a side view of the product. So it's like a special mix which has stone going from 4mm down to 2mm, and then a bunch of other products. Well, I don't know exactly what they are, so I am not going to gas you. And here, these are the actual pipes which the mortar runs through. So all of the data is entered into here. It is connected via Ethernet, and once it's connected, whatever you have put into this computer, this machine robotically prints it all. This machine is a breakthrough in the UK market, and they have aimed it at the landscaping industry, making lovely water features and plant pots. Now, I have seen larger ones online. I haven't seen one in person. What people use to build structural concrete and build houses. Now, I'm not sure in this country we are ready for it. We're a bit on the fence about it, and I'm not sure how engineers will take it. But the mortar that comes out of this has been cube tested, and it gets up to 40 Newton meters of strength, which is the same as a C40 concrete. It's not as strong as the concrete that we use to pour our train track, which was a C50. Click here to watch a video on the engineering of making a train track which is completely submerged in a slab. I think that entering the UK market with landscaping is a step forward. And I can't wait to see this working.
This is the robot controller to control the robot when we're setting up and getting it ready for manual operation. So checking all of the operations, checking the positions. As soon as we're all happy, we'll turn the robot into auto, and the machine then takes over, and we control it with the master pendant. Right, okay.
So we're more or less ready to go. Here's our power. Here's our IBC of water. It's connected to our water heater to keep the water at 30 degrees the entire time. This is our brain. Our computer via Ethernet sends the information to the brain, and the brain tells the robotic 3D printer what to do. Here we have the hopper. Over here is our retarder. This is our pump. The concrete comes out of here and goes to our 3D robotic printer. And here are a lovely set of steps. So the bags of mortar over there on the low loader are poured into here. Lads have made a makeshift little table to print. And it looks like we are more or less ready to go. The time now is 1:15, and unfortunately I have to go back to the yard. Flo is in the yard, and he was washing down the 914 and the LH60, and the LH60 has a warning light on it. It will not work at all, and we have a train coming in on Tuesday to be loaded with non-haz. So somehow, some way, we're going to now have to try and get this LH60 repaired and working before Tuesday over a bank holiday weekend. Now, the lads here are going to make me a nice big A, but they can't do it at the moment because the BBC are getting here at 2 p.m. and they need to do a demonstration for the BBC before they do it for Ashville. But the BBC were here first, but they did want to do the one for Ashville. So I'm going to leave and I'm going to head back to the yard. Ah, 914, looking nice and clean and spotless. Not had a response yet on the demo cage. We can see hydraulic oil here. The ram should be clean enough for us to take it off, take it to get repaired. Track pads are ordered. And we managed to get a gentleman in to take a look at the LH60, and we didn't actually fix it. He cleared the faults. Now the faults could reappear any time, but he's saying there's a sensor that's needed. We don't have the sensor, and he can't get it at the moment because Liebherr aren't open. So the best we could do was just clear the fault and see how it goes on Tuesday morning and try and get the sensor on Tuesday morning. Time now is 2:56 p.m. I'm heading into the video office to watch Ashville Weekly episode 238, which is coming up next Sunday. Click here to watch that video. And this is it for Ashville Weekly episode 239. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before. Click down here for last week's episode, which was number 238. Oh, because I've got to watch that, but now it's 2 weeks ahead, but that now the week before this, what's not out yet, something like that.